Welcome, beloved soul. You didn't find this message by accident. You were led here, quietly, gently, by the one who sees what you've been carrying in silence. And right now, God wants to speak peace over your heart. This is about love. But not just any love. This is the love God Himself has approved. A union shaped in heaven. A relationship written into the very story of your becoming. And yet, before the promise is fulfilled, before the joy of union is sealed, something sacred, something weighty, something testing will come. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. When God joins two hearts, He first refines them. He makes sure the soil is deep enough for holy roots to grow. And sometimes, the testing comes right before the blessing. You may feel the delay. You may feel misunderstood. You may even feel like everything is falling apart. But heaven whispers, this is not the end. It's the sacred moment right before the divine beginning. God is not testing to break you. He's revealing what will sustain the love He's chosen for you. Listen closely. This union has already been approved in the courts of heaven. But earth will shake a little before it is made visible. Hearts will be tried. Motives will be revealed. Fears may rise to the surface. And the timing will seem uncertain. But none of this is outside of God's plan. He is still in control. Even when your soul trembles and you question what's happening, God is not nervous. God is not late. God is not silent. He's drawing you deeper into trust. This is where love becomes real. Not in the easy days, but in the days when it's hard to hold on. In the moments when you are tempted to walk away. In the nights when silence is loud and you wonder if what God promised was just your own imagination. No, beloved. This is not fantasy. This is divine preparation. And you are still on track. You are not behind. You are not being punished. You are being purified. There is a kind of beauty that only comes from surrender. There is a kind of strength that only comes through tears. And there is a kind of faith that only rises when everything else falls away. This is your moment to rise in that kind of faith. Heaven isn't asking you to pretend. Heaven is inviting you to trust. Right before the altar comes the cross. Right before the promise comes the stretching. Right before the fulfillment comes the fire. Not to destroy you, but to make you ready. Because what's coming is holy. And holiness is never rushed at. So if you feel like you're being stretched, like your heart is under pressure, like your prayers are being tested, this is not a sign to quit. It's a sign that something sacred is near. And maybe, just maybe, this message is that gentle confirmation your heart has been waiting for. If it is, let me pause here and invite you. If this word is resonating with your spirit, subscribe for more gentle spirit-led guidance. Leave a comment below with your prayer requests or reflections. You're not walking alone. And if this message is blessing your soul, you can support this peaceful ministry with a super thanks. It's not just support, it's helping. These sacred words reach others in need of hope. Thank you for being part of this heart-centered space. Now come back to the message. Sometimes, the one you're called to love will go through their own breaking just before meeting you fully. Don't be alarmed by their silence. Don't be discouraged by the delays. God is working behind the veil. He's healing what eyes can't see. He's aligning what hearts can't yet comprehend. You are both on separate paths that are slowly being drawn together by divine hands. But the joining doesn't happen without surrender. It doesn't happen without loss. It doesn't happen without deep trust. You may feel like everything is shifting, because it is. But that shift is clearing space for the union to be real, lasting, and full of God's presence. Let the testing purify your hope, not kill it. Let the waiting deepen your roots, not make you bitter. Let the discomfort remind you that God's best. Things are never born in ease. You were made for this kind of love, the kind that withstands storms, walks through fire, and comes out glowing with the fingerprints of heaven. This isn't about the wedding day. This is about the soul bond, the spiritual unity, the purpose you carry together, and because it's that deep, it requires that deep of a preparation. So if your heart is weary today, let God hold it. If your eyes are tired from crying, let Him remind you He sees every tear, and He is faithful. Stay a little longer in this place of surrender. You're closer than you think. The union is real. The promise is true. The testing is temporary, but the love that God has approved, that will last forever. Stay open, stay faithful, and stay near to the one who is still writing your love story. You are seen. You are known. You are being prepared. And what happens right before the blessing is not the enemy winning, it's heaven refining. Let your soul rest in that truth today. And if this message gave your heart peace, I humbly ask you to share it with someone who's also in that in-between space. You never know what quiet soul might be needing a word like this. We'll continue in part 2, but for now, breathe deep. You are still held. And the union God has written is still on the way. Welcome again, beloved soul. You came back, and that tells me something about your spirit. You're not just waiting for love, you're growing for it. You're allowing God to prepare your heart, even when it's hard. And that is the sign of someone who will carry sacred love well. So let's continue. Because what comes right before the union is often the part that feels the most confusing. It may look like a detour. It may feel like rejection. It may sound like silence from the one you thought would be by your side. And it may test everything you thought you understood about what God said. But you are not abandoned. You are being aligned. Heaven is not playing games with your heart. God is not teasing you with visions of love. He's anchoring you in something real, something tested, something holy. And before two hearts can become one in divine union, each heart must learn how to lean fully on God. Because if you lean on each other before you've learned to lean on Him, the weight of the calling will crush you. This union you're walking toward, it has a calling. It is not just about affection. It is about assignment. It is not just about passion. It is about purpose. And so God allows the space before it to shape you, to cleanse what would contaminate it, to strengthen what will sustain it, to humble what might otherwise become pride. Right before the union, you might feel forgotten. You might watch others step into their joy while you wait in silence. You might wonder if God changed His mind. But beloved, He didn't. What He said, He still means. What He promised, He will fulfill. But it will be in His way and in His time, not yours. Let the delay deepen your dependence. Let the silence sharpen your hearing. Let the ache purify your love. God is not bringing you just anyone. He's bringing you someone who's learning to seek Him, just like you are. But here's the sacred mystery. You may not recognize the final form of the promise, because it will come differently than you imagined. Yes, the union is approved. But the road there won't look like a fairy tale. It will look like faith. It will feel like stretching. It will require the death of your own timeline and the birth of a deeper trust. This is the quiet hour, the refining fire, the final test. Before divine release. It's not about proving your worth. You are already worthy. It's about building your endurance. Because the kind of love you're stepping into isn't fragile. It's firm. It's faithful. It's forever. So let me pause again, just for a moment. If this message is speaking to your heart, if it feels like God is confirming something deep within you, I invite you to subscribe for more peaceful, Spirit-led guidance. Leave a comment with your thoughts or prayer requests. I read them. And if you feel led, you can support this sacred space with a humble super thanks. Every small seed helps this channel reach more weary souls with God's truth. Your support means more than you know. Let's return now. The testing is not in vain, and neither are your tears. You may feel like you're the only one who sees the vision clearly. You may be carrying hope alone, while the other person seems distant, distracted, or unsure. But sometimes God hides things so they can be revealed at the right time. Sometimes He closes mouths so hearts can hear His voice more clearly. And sometimes He slows everything down so the union won't be built on woundedness, but on healing, the one you're called to. They are being spoken to, even if they haven't told you, even if they're not ready to admit it, even if they walked away for a while. God knows how to bring His children back to what is holy. And if this love is from Him, He will sustain it. Even through silence, distance, and testing. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to beg. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to trust the one who sees the full picture, and you can rest in this truth. If it's from God, nothing will be able to stop it. Not timing, not fear, not even your own mistakes. He's bigger than all of it. So breathe, rest, and remember, this is part of the story too. Before the beauty of the wedding, before the vows, before the joy, there is the testing, there is the wilderness, there is the silence, and there is the fire. But after that comes the glory. You are closer than you feel. You are stronger than you think, and you are not waiting in vain. Keep your heart open. Keep your faith alive, and keep letting God shape your soul. For the love He's sending, the altar is not far, but before it comes this sacred preparation. And I know it hurts. I know it's lonely. I know it's confusing, but it will make sense soon. The delays will become the foundation. The pain will turn into compassion. The silence will give birth to wisdom. And when you stand in the union, God-ordained, you'll look back and say, it was worth it. Until then, hold on. Heaven is still moving. God is still writing. And your story is not over. You are not forgotten. You are being remembered in the throne room. And what He approves, He completes. So be at peace. And if this message has helped you breathe again, would you consider sharing it with someone who may be walking a similar path? You never know whose spirit you'll lift just by clicking share. And don't forget to meet me again in part 3. We're not finished yet. There is still more heaven wants to show you. You are being guided. You are being guarded. And yes, you are still being prepared for the one heaven has approved. Welcome back, dear soul. It means something sacred that you're still here. Still listening. Still longing for truth. Still believing, even just a little, that what God began in you, He will finish. I know the waiting has been long. I know your heart has questioned everything. But this message is a gentle reminder. The testing is not a detour. It is the doorway. Right before the union, God doesn't just prepare the two hearts. He prepares the ground they will stand on. If the ground beneath you is unstable, no matter how beautiful the connection looks, it won't survive the storms of life. So God, in His mercy, allows the shaking. He reveals what's been hidden. He removes what's been unspoken. He surfaces fears, wounds, doubts, not to shame you, but to heal you before you step into something holy. And maybe, just maybe, that's what's been happening lately. Maybe this strange silence, this sudden tension, this unexpected distance, is not the ending. It's the cleansing. It's the clearing. It's the final deep breath before something sacred begins. You are not forgotten. You are being fashioned. And what you're walking through right now, this aching, stretching, soul-deep testing, is not in vain. Before God allows two people to walk side by side into destiny, He teaches them how to walk alone with Him. Because when you know how to be whole with God, you won't look to your partner to complete you. You'll meet them in fullness. You'll love them without grasping. You'll build something that's not just romantic, but eternal. This is what you're being prepared for. Not just a wedding day, but a kingdom purpose. That's why it feels so heavy. That's why it's taken time. That's why the process hasn't looked like others around you. You are not being overlooked. You are being set apart. And I want you to remember this. Just because something hurts does not mean it's not holy. God allows the ache so you can grow into the answer. And the one He's joining you to, they're being led through their own refining too. Their heart is being softened. Their eyes are being opened. Their spirit is being awakened. Even if you can't see it, even if they've pulled away, even if it seems like they've forgotten you, heaven knows. And heaven is still working. So I pause again, right here in this sacred moment, to invite you gently, sincerely, if this message is giving your soul the strength to keep believing, subscribe to this channel so you don't walk alone. Share your prayer requests in the comments. I lift them up. And if you've been moved by this word, you can offer a super thanks to help continue this gentle ministry. Every gift helps us reach more aching hearts with the peaceful love of God. And I thank you deeply for being part of this journey. Now breathe. Let's go deeper. Before you stand at the altar, God will ask you, is your love rooted in me? Not in their looks, not in the idea of them, not in your hopes for the future, but in God. Because when love is rooted in God, it doesn't collapse when storms come. It doesn't give up when things get quiet. It doesn't panic when timelines shift. It endures. It prays. It trusts. It waits. It believes. That's the love you're being prepared for. That's the love you're being shaped to carry. And yes, there will be a moment when it all makes sense, when the silence ends, when the distance closes, when the promise stands before you in flesh and faith, saying, I choose you. But it will not be random. It will not be rushed. It will not be rooted in fantasy. It will be God-ordained. It will be soul deep. It will be tested, and because of that, it will be true. The test before the union isn't to destroy the connection. It's to reveal what the connection is made of. Some ties break under pressure. But real love, God's kind of love, is refined in pressure. It becomes purer, more reverent, more compassionate, more surrendered. And when both hearts finally return to the altar, it won't be just to make a promise to each other. It will be to make a covenant before God. So hold on, beloved. If you're in the middle of uncertainty, if you're not sure what they're thinking, if you feel like they've slipped away, don't let panic take over. Let peace guide you. You are not alone in this. God is still in it. Even when nothing feels certain, He is still sure. And I want you to remember something tender. Sometimes, God holds things back until both hearts are truly ready. Not halfway, not emotionally dependent, but truly ready. Because premature unions become painful distractions. But when God says, now, no force in hell can stop what heaven has written. So instead of trying to make things happen, rest. Be still. Let Him work. Let Him shape the unseen. Let Him do what only He can. And while He works, worship. While He delays, grow. While He hides the promise, let your trust deepen. The moment before the union is often when your heart wants to give up the most. But don't. You are almost there. The one He's chosen for you is still part of the story. The distance is not disconnection, it's development. The silence is not rejection, it's refinement. And the waiting is not wasted, it's worship in disguise. So here we are, at the final stretch of this sacred path. And I bless you with the courage to keep walking. If this series has helped you breathe, cry, or feel seen again, please share it with someone else. Someone waiting, someone wondering, someone who's also just trying to trust God through the ache. Heaven is still writing. The story isn't finished. The test is not forever. And the union God approved is still coming. Be at peace, beloved soul. You are closer than you know. And when it all comes together, you'll understand why it had to be this way. Until then, rest, believe, stay open, and stay near to the one who has never taken his eyes off of you. You are seen. You are loved. You are being gently led to the altar, where love meets destiny, and faith becomes sight. Welcome again, beloved soul. You've stayed through the silence. You've walked through the ache. And now you are standing at the edge of something sacred. This message is not just a continuation, it's a confirmation. It's heaven's way of saying, keep going. You may be exhausted. You may feel like your prayers are echoing into empty space. You may even wonder if you heard God wrong, but I need you to hear this clearly now. You didn't imagine the connection. You didn't create the desire alone. You didn't make up the leading. This was real. This was from God, and it still is. But the fire before the fulfillment is not for destruction. It's for discernment, because when God approves a union, He will protect it from anything that would poison its purity, even if that means delaying it, even if that means pausing it, even if that means separating two hearts for a time, so He can prepare them to love each other the right way. This isn't punishment. This is pruning. This is grace. This is divine wisdom at work. Because a union blessed by God must be built by God, and that kind of building requires quiet seasons, lonely seasons, stretching seasons. You may feel like you're losing something, but you're actually gaining clarity. You're learning how to release control. You're learning how to love without clinging. You're learning how to trust without constantly needing proof. And you're learning what it means to be sustained by God alone, so that when your union begins, you won't need it to replace Him. It will simply reflect Him. This is the kind of foundation that doesn't crack under pressure. This is the kind of love that doesn't run when things get hard. This is the kind of preparation that produces lifelong peace. Let me pause here to gently invite you again. If these words are giving your soul the strength to keep walking, please subscribe so we can keep sharing this sacred space together. Leave your thoughts or prayer requests in the comments. They matter deeply, and you are not forgotten here. And if this message has blessed you, a humble super thanks will help this peaceful ministry continue. Every offering, small or large, is fuel for the mission to bring calm, God-centered guidance to more weary hearts. Thank you for walking with us in this way. Let's go deeper now. Because some of the hardest moments come right before the union is revealed. You may face misunderstanding. You may face betrayal. You may face people who don't understand the depth of what you carry. You may even face a moment where the person God showed you pulls away. And it will test everything you believe. But here's the truth. God never asks you to hold someone tighter than you're holding Him. So let go of control. Let go of timelines. Let go of needing to know everything right now. Your only job in this hour is to stay faithful, to stay soft, to stay surrendered. God knows how to bring two hearts back together in His perfect time. He knows how to turn silence into surrender and confusion into clarity. But you must trust the process. Even the painful parts. Even the pieces that don't make sense. You are not losing the promise. You are learning how to carry it with wisdom. The one you are called to may be walking through a silent storm. They may be battling things they don't have words for yet. But that doesn't mean they've forgotten you. That doesn't mean the union has been revoked. It means that testing is at its peak and breakthrough is near. Let this truth steady you. If it's from God, no distance can erase it. No time can dissolve it. No mistake can cancel it. God is not asking you to strive. He's asking you to rest. He's asking you to believe that His hand is still writing, that His voice still leads, that His heart is still for you. There's something sacred about surrender. It invites heaven into your waiting. It makes space for miracles. And it protects your soul from becoming bitter while you wait. This is the oil in your lamp. This is the extra strength in the midnight hour. This is your preparation for the moment when the door opens and your promise is standing there, fully awakened. So I speak this over you now. Peace over your waiting. Peace over your confusion. Peace over your tender, tired heart. You don't have to figure it all out. You only have to stay close to the one who already has. Don't give up now. You're not at the beginning. You're near the edge of breakthrough. And the tears you've sown in secret are watering a harvest you will soon hold in your hands. Keep praying, keep trusting, keep becoming, because the person you're becoming will know how to love the one God is preparing, and the person there. Becoming will finally be able to see you not through fear, but through faith. You are not alone in this. And what feels like loss is often the final clearing before the arrival of the promised dot. So as you end this part of the journey, remember this: the testing is holy. The silence is sacred. The pause is purposeful. And the union is still approved. Let your soul rest in that. Let your heart soften again. Let hope rise quietly, gently, peacefully. And if this word reached you in a deep place, please share it with someone you love. Let them know they're not walking this path alone either. Until we meet again in part 5, may you walk in the quiet confidence that the God who approves also fulfills. Your love story is not over. It's just entering its most holy chapter. Welcome back, beloved. You've come so far. And even if you don't feel it right now, heaven sees the quiet strength it's taken for you to stay the course, to stay faithful, to keep believing in a love that hasn't yet arrived. But here's the truth. If you're still here, you're not just waiting, you're walking. You're walking through the fire. You're walking through the silence. You're walking through the parts of the story that never make it to the fairy tales, the part where it looks like everything is falling apart, when in reality, God is bringing everything together, because the deeper the purpose, the more intense the preparation. And this union you're believing for, this sacred, God-approved bond, it is not ordinary. It is kingdom-appointed, and that means it cannot be rushed, it cannot be forced, and it absolutely cannot be built on anything other than surrender. That's why the testing is so personal. That's why the delays feel so heavy. That's why you've had to walk through so many lonely nights, so many moments of doubt, so many hidden tears, because God isn't just preparing the moment, He's preparing the foundation. And if you skip the testing, you miss the becoming. And without the becoming, the union cannot carry the weight of its destiny. So if your heart is trembling right now, if you're wondering whether you'll ever see the promise fulfilled, if you're silently asking God why it has to be this hard, know this: the testing is a gift. It may not feel like it now, but it's revealing something holy inside you. Learning how to love without demanding. You're learning how to trust without constant clarity. You're learning how to hope even when your heart has been bruised. This is not weakness. This is divine strength. And what God is shaping in you now is exactly what the promise needs. So let me speak to the storm in your heart. Breathe. The silence is not forever. The pause is not punishment. And God's yes over your union still stands, even if the one you love is silent right now. Even if the connection seems broken. Even if nothing makes sense in the natural, God is still working in the spiritual. He has not changed His mind. He is not confused. He is not late. He is simply getting you both ready. The person you're called to may be walking through fire too. And you don't always need to see their process to believe it's real. Trust that the same God refining you is also working in them, in their silence, in their distance, in their delay. Sometimes the one you love has to be broken before they can be rebuilt. And God will not let you carry them through that breaking, because if you did, they might lean on you instead of leaning on Him. So wait in trust. Pray in surrender. And love in faith. I want to pause right here and gently invite you. If this message has brought peace to your soul, subscribe to walk with us through more sacred teachings like this. Share your prayer needs in the comments. We pray with you. And if this message has blessed you in a deep way, a humble, super thanks helps us keep creating these gentle, spirit-led messages. Your support helps this ministry grow, so others can receive what you're receiving now. Thank you for being part of something truly sacred. Now, come back with me to this truth. Right before the breakthrough, your heart will feel like giving up. That's how you know the moment is near. You'll feel tired of believing. You'll feel unsure if it was ever real. You'll feel tempted to settle, to shut down, to let go. But don't. Hold on to your oil. Hold on to the whispers you heard in prayer. Hold on to the quiet confirmations that no one else saw. Because when the time comes, God will bring it together so suddenly, so clearly, so beautifully, that you will finally understand every delay. One He has chosen for you will awaken. They will return with clarity. They will speak with a healed voice. They will love with a surrendered heart. And you will not need to force a single thing. It will be peace. It will be timing. It will be God. So, while you wait, do the work within. Let Him continue to purify your desires. Let Him strengthen your voice. Let Him open your heart in new ways, because this love, this sacred union, will require more of you than you've ever given, but it will also give you more than you've ever known. It will feed your soul. It will expand your calling. It will mirror heaven in your daily life, and when you both walk to the altar, it will not just be for celebration. It will be for assignment. You'll know that you didn't just survive the fire. You were refined in it. You didn't just wait. You became. And what God joins together after the fire, no one can tear apart. So walk slowly. Walk peacefully. Walk in faith. And if this message found you in a moment of doubt, I hope you'll share it with someone else who needs to know they're not alone. Maybe someone else is sitting quietly with a broken heart, and your sharing is the word they've been praying for. Let's carry each other in love. Let's wait with joy. Let's trust the God who writes better love stories than we ever could. And know this as you go, the altar is still ahead. The union is still holy. And what comes right before it is simply the refining, before the release. Rest in that. Trust in that. Live in that. Until part 6. Be still, be expectant, and let your soul be wrapped in peace. You are not forgotten. You are simply being prepared for forever. Welcome, beloved soul. You are here today because your heart is being prepared for something holy. You are not just listening to another message. You are sitting beneath the gentle whisper of heaven. God has seen your hope. God has heard your prayers. And He knows what you're walking through, even when others don't. The union has already been approved in heaven. But now you stand at the edge of the hardest moment, before the breakthrough. And this part, this is where your trust will be tested like never before. Because just before the beauty, just before the joy, comes a shaking that makes you wonder if you misheard God at all. But you didn't. You were not wrong to believe. You were not wrong to wait. The pain you feel right now is not punishment. It's preparation. The delay is not denial. It is divine orchestration. God is not teasing you with glimpses of a promise He doesn't intend to fulfill. He is anchoring your soul. He is refining your faith. He is protecting your spirit from running ahead of His timing. This moment right before the blessing is where you learn to be still while everything inside you wants to run. It's where your spirit whispers, God, I trust you. Even when your eyes see no signs. It's where your heart says, I believe, even when the road looks uncertain. You're not being abandoned. You're being chosen to walk through the fire and come out untouched. Your future union is not falling apart. It's being baptized in prayer, sanctified in secret, made holy by the waiting. Right now the enemy may be trying to confuse you. He knows the promise is close, so he is throwing distractions, doubts, even past wounds into your mind. But the Spirit of God says, lift your eyes. Do not bow to fear. Do not entertain despair. You're standing at the border of what you've been promised. And heaven is watching to see if you'll trust even here. So breathe. Let peace be your companion. Let quiet be your strength. Let stillness be your answer when chaos calls, because this moment will pass, and when it does, you'll see what God was protecting all along. There are things that must be removed before the union, and God in His mercy will not let you enter sacred territory with baggage that will weigh it down. Some relationships are breaking off. Some habits are being exposed. Some truths are rising to the surface that you didn't ask for, but needed to see. It may feel like loss, but it's really liberation. God is guarding the gates of your next season with love and precision, and you are not behind. You are exactly on time in His divine plan, this part right here. This valley, this confusion, this waiting. It's sacred ground. It's where heaven sifts out the unnecessary, so only what is holy remains. So don't curse the quiet. Don't rush the lesson. Don't despise the slowness of this moment. God is in it. His Spirit is working beneath the surface, aligning, healing, preparing, revealing. Your union is still safe in His hands. It will come, and when it does, you'll understand why the weight felt so heavy. Because what God is building between you two is weighty with purpose. This is not ordinary love. This is not fleeting emotion. This is covenant. This is destiny. This is soul-deep, God-anchored connection that can stand through storms. But for it to be that strong, the foundation must be pure. And that's what He's doing right now. Take heart. Dear one, you're closer than you think. And if this message is speaking to your heart right now, let it be a moment of confirmation, not confusion. Let it remind you that your steps are not random. You are being led, and your obedience is not in vain. If this message has stirred something sacred inside you, I invite you now humbly and with love. Subscribe for more peaceful spiritual guidance. Your soul needs steady reminders of God's presence, especially in the waiting. You can also comment below with your reflections, your prayers, your questions. This is a space of peace, and you are safe here. And if this message has truly blessed you, if it's helped you breathe again, or confirm something you've been wrestling with, consider supporting this channel with a super thanks. Not for recognition, not for reward, but to help this kind of peaceful, spirit-filled message reach more weary hearts like yours. Every word shared is prayed over. Every message is made in stillness and trust. And your support helps this mission grow. But whether you give or not, know this: you are already loved. You are already seen. And your journey is already held in the hands of God. Now, breathe again. Let hope return to your chest, because the next time you stand in a sacred moment, you will look back and say, God was here all along. He didn't abandon me. He didn't forget the promise. He simply wanted me ready to receive it. So prepare your heart, beloved soul. The union is still approved. The purpose is still alive. And God's final movements will leave you in awe. Just trust Him. A little longer. Your midnight is about to become morning. And the divine interruption that felt like delay will reveal itself as the very thing that made the love unbreakable. You've come so far. You've waited through storms. You've listened through silence. You've wept through confusion. And still, you held on to the hand of God. That kind of faith does not go unnoticed. That kind of love does not go unrewarded. But before the full promise arrives, before the beauty of the union reveals itself in fullness, there will be one last test, not to destroy, but to solidify. And right now you might be walking through it, re-feeling strange tension, strange delays, a distance that feels unexplained, misunderstandings between you and this person, moments that feel almost too fragile to fix in your heart. Whispers, God, did I misunderstand you? But heaven replies, no, you heard correctly. But the gold must be refined in fire. This is not a sign to run. It is a signal to kneel, to pray with more patience, to intercede with deeper mercy, to hold the vision God gave you, even when the moment tries to blur it. Because in these final hours before the promise unfolds, the enemy loves to sow seeds of doubt. But God is strengthening your roots, not breaking your branches there. is a holy tension, one that stretches the soul but doesn't snap it, one that prepares the heart, not punishes it. And if you're feeling like you're walking through that right now, like this was supposed to be the happiest time, but instead you feel a strange kind of sorrow, a quiet ache in the atmosphere, let me speak gently to your soul. You are not failing. You are passing through. Sometimes the final test is the ability to still believe. When you feel nothing confirming it around you, it's the willingness to love. Even when the one you love is distant, distracted, or unsure, it's the bravery to stay. When the easier option would be to walk away, and it's the sacred surrender of letting God be the author. Even when you're desperate to hold the pen, beloved soul. This union is still approved, still anointed, still held in the hands of heaven. But your heart is being taught how to carry it with grace. This isn't just about being married, it's about being spiritually ready to love someone through their doubts, to cover them in prayer, to forgive like Jesus, to wait like Ruth, to lead with peace like Joseph, and to trust like Abraham, who went not knowing where, but knowing who. And if your soul has grown tired in the waiting, if your faith has felt frayed at the edges, if your tears have spoken words your lips could not say, then pause with me here. Just for a moment. You have not missed it. You have not ruined it. You have not been forgotten. This is the sacred testing before the sacred blessing. The season where God does his finest work in the hidden places. He is preparing your love to last. Not just to begin, he's preparing your heart to hold joy without condition, to be a safe space. Not just a soulmate, to be an intercessor. Not just an admirer, to be holy in your love. Not just happy, because the kind of union God approves is a light to the world, a witness to his glory, and a healing to generations. So, if you feel like you're walking through fire right now, if you're unsure of what changed, if the closeness feels far, if the peace feels shaken, take a deep breath. You're in the middle, not the end, and God is closer than you think. If this word is reaching you in that space, if you feel like the message is sitting in your chest, speaking directly to your season, pause and invite God into your thoughts right now. Let him minister to your heart in the silence. Let him fill your breath with peace. Let him speak over the chaos and say, still. And if this message has been speaking to your spirit gently, like a familiar voice reminding you of God's promises, you're invited to stay close. Subscribe for more words that breathe peace into your walk, and if you feel led, leave a comment with your prayer request or share this message with someone who's quietly suffering, because sometimes the right word at the right time can save a soul from breaking. And for those who feel deeply moved, who feel the call to help this message reach more weary hearts, we invite you, with humble gratitude, to leave us super thanks. Your support allows us to continue creating peaceful, spiritual content for people walking through silent battles just like this beloved one. This test is not forever. It is a holy moment. It is fire that refines. It is pressure that produces purity. It is silence that matures love. God approved this union, and what you're walking through right now, it is not punishment. It is preparation. Very soon, you will look back and understand why this chapter mattered. Stay steady, stay soft, stay surrendered, because heaven is still writing your love story. And the next page is full of glory. You just haven't turned it yet.